Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I am Tamika Thompson and I am the owner and resume writer at Thompson Resume Writing Company. And for this video, I'm going to be answering a commonly asked question that I get all the time, and that is, should I apply to a job with my resume if I don't have the experience or if I don't have all of the experience? I want you to understand instances where, yes, if you don't have 100% of what the recruiter is asking for, you should still apply to the job. But on the flip side, I want you to also understand instances where a job may not be for you just yet. So maybe you don't have all of the experience just yet. And although that voice in the back of your head may be telling you to go for it, maybe you shouldn't. So I want you to know when you should and when you should not apply to a job if you do or if you don't have the experience. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I would like to preface this video by saying that this is a very layered and a very complex question to answer because there are so many different circumstances and so many different situations that exist. But for the most part, I want to give you an overview of when you should say, yeah, let me go ahead and wing it and give it a shot and go ahead and apply, and when you should walk away from it. So I'm going to start this video off with the yes portion. So here are some instances where you can still apply to the job even if you don't have all of the experience. Number one is if you have at least 70% or more of the experience or of the background that they are looking for. You all have to understand that recruiters are hiring people to do a job. They have something in particular that they need done. The company has goals to hit, and the last thing that they need is somebody who is inexperienced and someone who does not know what they're doing, who's going to require a lot of training, right? So ideally, if you can comb through the job posting and at least 70% or more of what the job responsibilities are, the skills, the background, etc., if you have 70% of them or more, you can legit put a check mark or a check next to it, then yes, apply to the job. Number two is if you actually have a long enough background and history doing the tasks and responsibilities that are listed within the job. So maybe the job is asking for someone who has 6 years of experience, but you have 4.5 to 5 years. You can still apply to the job. It'd be different if you had only 2 years or 3 years, because that is legit only half. So someone who has 2 or 3 years of experience may not have the certain skill set or be at a certain skill level that someone who does have that 6 years of experience. But 4.5 to 5 years is fine, just as long as you know everything else in the job description. So if they're asking for someone with 6 years of experience, and they also want this person to have certain tech skills and certain accomplishments along with degrees, and let's say you have that 4.5 years of experience, not the 6, but you know all the software, you've done all the responsibilities, you have the degrees and the certifications, absolutely, you can still go for it. As long as you know exactly what they need you to do, and when you're combing through the job description, you're not looking at everything with question marks like, oh, what is that? Or I'm not too familiar with that. Or, oh, I don't know what that is. If you're not saying that, then by all means, still apply to that job. But if you find that you do have those question marks and you're looking at software that you've never heard of before, then you may not want to apply to that job. Next is you should apply if you know that you are going to be able to meet the performance expectations of the role. So again, they're not looking to just bring somebody on for fun. No, they need this person to work. They need this person to do something. They have standards for this person. They have expectations for this person. And if you're looking at that job description and you know for a fact that you are going to be able to kill this job and you're going to do great and you're going to be able to meet whatever expectations or standards that they have set, then yes, apply to it. But if you know that whatever that title is, and you can put 2 and 2 together, if you know that you may not be able to hit that goal or fully meet the criteria that they're looking for from a performance perspective, do not apply to the job. So for example, Let's say that you're going for a sales job and it has listed within the job that they want this person to bring in $3.5 million in sales within the first 6 months. And you're looking at that and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, or I don't know if I can do that. Do not apply to that job, because you are going to be wasting the recruiter's time and you're going to be wasting your time. But if you look at that goal and you know you have an extensive history in sales and you've hit $3.5 million in sales before, then by all means, go for it, sis, or go for it, bro. And then lastly, feel free to apply to that job if you know everything in that job posting and you know that you have what they are looking for. And I'm talking about hard skills, soft skills, years of experience, the degrees, certain tasks and responsibilities, right? If you just know that you have exactly what they're looking for, but you may be missing a handful of things, maybe there's one software that you don't know, as opposed to not knowing 3 to 5 or more types of software. If you know that you have all of the skills, or at least 80 to 90% of those skills, go ahead and apply to it. There's no such thing as a perfect candidate, right? No one is going to really have 100% of all of what a recruiter is looking for, but you should have at least 70% or more. What some people will do is that they'll just wing it. You know, they're like, oh no, I don't have all of the experience, but I know this, 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 and this. Yeah, but you need to know this, and this. If you go through that list and you just know for a fact, you know, I may be underqualified for this position, that is okay. I know they're not looking for a perfect person, but they do want a qualified person. There's a difference between winging it and being overconfident and being completely inexperienced. If you are inexperienced, that is okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some instances when you should not apply to that job. Number one is if you meet less than 60% of those qualifications. So again, you go through that qualifications list, you go through the job posting, and you're, making your check marks. But compared to what the list is and what your check marks are, maybe there are just simply not enough check marks. If you happen to come across that, or if you happen to experience that, do not apply to the job. I repeat, do not apply to the job, because then you are going to be underqualified. And I reiterate, recruiters want someone who is experienced to do this job. Be honest with yourself and saying, hey, I may not be where I want to be able to qualify for this job. And if that's the case, maybe you set a goal for yourself within the next year to 2 years, you get that experience or you get those skills to be able to apply to a job such as that in the future. Next on this list is you should not apply to the job if you do not have a long enough history doing the tasks and responsibilities. So again, we all know that someone who has 8 to 10 years of experience, their skill level and their knowledge and their information, there is a reason that recruiters put the number of years of experience that they want a person to have. So if you find that the job is asking for 8 years and you only have 4 years or 5 years, I hate to burst your bubble, but you are stretching it, and 9 times out of 10 you may get rejected. Now if you had 6.5 to 7 years, that would be different. Recruiters can shave off a year of experience, maybe even 1.5 to 2 years. But if you have like half or less of that years of experience, do not do it. Next on this list is you should not apply if you have to Google or look up or search most of what is listed in the job posting. So if you see the names of some software or you see some certain skills on there that you've never heard of before, and you find that throughout that job posting there are a lot of terminology and things that you come across that you have no idea what they are, do not apply because that is going to scream inexperienced and not qualified. And I would rather you not apply to a job than to apply to a job and immediately get rejected, and the recruiter looking at the resume like, what the heck is this person doing? They don't have any of the keywords I'm looking for. They don't have any of the skills that I need. The more jobs that you apply to that you are qualified for, the more interview success you are going to have. So when I say too much of a stretch, I know sometimes people will make very large career jumps. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. An example of this would be, let's say, a college student trying to jump directly into a director's level position. And this is not to say that this can't happen, but let's say you're really after a certain salary that you want to make, but you don't have the experience and you don't have the skills to be able to obtain that salary. There is going to be some groundwork that you are going to need to do. If you're trying to skip ahead 2 to 3 levels above where you currently are, but you don't have the skills and the education needed to be able to make that jump, when you apply to that job, you are going to look silly. Again, be honest and be transparent with yourself about where you are in your career, the skills that you have, and if you don't have what's needed for that position at this time, make it a goal for yourself over the next couple of years to obtain those skills. So those are some instances when you should and should not apply to the job if you do not have the experience, but you have to be honest with yourself. And also, you don't want to spend too much time searching for jobs because ultimately you want to get a job offer. So apply to jobs that you have the experience for, that you have the skills for, that you are qualified for. And if you come across a position where you notice that you don't have the years of experience or you don't have the skills just yet, that's okay. Make that a goal to strive to be able to apply to that job 3 to 4 or maybe 5 years from now, and so on and so forth. I really hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that this answered the question in an effective way for you. If you learned something, or if you enjoyed watching the video, or if you just liked it, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you need assistance with crafting your resume for your next job opportunity, I would be more than happy to help you. Feel free to email me directly at hello@thompsonresumes.com. You can also visit my website at www.thompsonresumes.com. And if you want more resume and career tips and information from me, feel free to connect with me on social media. The link to my LinkedIn profile as well as my Instagram are in the description box down below. And you can also subscribe to my email list by clicking the link in the description box down below as well. If you are watching this video but you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can join my growing YouTube community. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time with another helpful video. Cheers to applying to only jobs that you are qualified for and that you have the experience for. Bye, y'all.